Pugh. That'll do it! That will do it! Pugh for Bournemouth! The roof of the Gold Sands is raised! Everyone here knows what that could mean to this football.
Good evening, Bournemouth fans. Just like my hair, that was dreadful. We had a purple patch in the second half, which lasted 5 minutes, but we were appalling. It was Sheffield Wednesday 2, Bournemouth 1 tonight at Dean Court. Who wants to call for a taxi? I'm sure we'll discuss that. At the moment, Cherries players, they've only got a handful of people to be accountable to. Jason, Purchase, and a couple of others. Just imagine if we were there tonight. Sadly, of course, us 11,000 at Dean Court can't be there to voice our opinion, but I will say it on behalf of the supporters of AFC Bournemouth to the players. We are disappointed in you. The sheer volume of negligence on the ball, I thought it was staggering tonight. I can go through and name players individually, but I'm sure the fans who are watching at home and who are going to be taking part on this and the live chat, you're going to be probably doing that for me. Today I thought was no better and no different to the last game, except today we were playing Wednesday, a team whose form is built on wins at home. Away, they've been pretty poor, and they're 23rd in the league. I know they've had their points deduction, but away, they've not been great, and we've just absolutely gifted it to them. We've got no direction, no confidence, no swagger, and Jason Tindall playing Snake on his mobile phone during a game. What the hell is that all about? Where's the identity? I tell you what, our identity at the moment is being crap. That's what we are. We're appalling. Certain players care, and you know who you are, but the rest of you don't at all, and you don't visibly look as though you do. Honest to God, if certain players were paid a tenner for every completed pass that they made today, they could just about afford to get a stream for AFCB TV on Saturday against Birmingham City. It was that bad. Once again, I'm saying fair play to the people that we played. Sheffield Wednesday, just like I did to Luton, to Millwall, QPR, the Rotherham, Derby, Preston, Cardiff, Middlesbrough. Where's it going to end? Absolutely shocking. Take part tonight. We really want to hear from you. This is a live free-for-all, and to get in touch, all you need to do is click that link, put it in your browser, afcbpodcast.com/take part. There's going to be loads of people that want to do so tonight, so we're going to try to rotate as much as possible, and I'll get your comments on the screen as well. Absolutely fuming after what I've seen, and I'm sure Jeff Hayward is too. How are you, Jeff?
Fucking appalled. Sorry, but that is just makes you want to scream.
Well, the writing was on the wall after 52 seconds when we, gifted them with a shot, and once again our saviour, our man of the match all season, had to pull it out of the bag for us again, and he did with a wonder save. But then our player of the season probably should have saved their opening goal as it squirmed in. But I mean, talk me through it, Jeff. Talk me through it.
I just thought the defensive unit, it's like they don't talk to each other. We're trying to play out from the back ridiculously. There are no options for the defenders going forwards. There's no cohesion. There's no team out there. There's no bloody team. And that second goal, I'm sorry, Lloyd Kelly closed down the bloody cross. You dummy! You've got so much time. He lined it up. He had enough time to put it on a plate for Jordan Rhodes. One player gets 4 in the box, and he picked him out because you don't close the cross down, you dummy.
Jeff, I can sense your pain, and someone else who's known for being positive, of course, he's going to be feeling his pain tonight. Tom, mate, great to have you on, but I can tell. Well, we've been texting, and you are absolutely livid after what you've just seen, haven't you?
Yeah, I can feel Jeff's pain. It's been a long time since I've just been really disgusted on the team I'm watching. I've said this before, I can handle whatever league we're in. We're Bournemouth, do you know what I mean? We've been in all the leagues, and I can cope with that. I can cope with misplaced passes and poor performances now and again. I can't cope with seeing a team that don't look like they give a shit. And it's the second regime they've let down now. They let down Eddie. Jason's culpable as well. Some of the decisions aren't good enough. He's clearly not getting the best out of the team. Clearly, we can see that. As you know, I'm not the sort of person that's going to call for someone's head, but equally, it's not right. And they're letting another manager down. The only one that looked like he gave a shit when he come on was someone that's come through the youth ranks, and Sam Surridge, who just showed a bit of fight because he's probably not on as much as the rest are on. And they don't give a shit, honestly. And until we have you can talk about getting rid of Jason all you want, but it's going to be the same people that employ the next manager.
Yeah.
And unless we change everything, I feel for whatever manager goes in there, because as much as he's not getting the best out of them, which I totally agree, who is? Them players do not care. They don't care. They shafted Eddie out with their performances after lockdown, and the team we had out tonight, the quality on show didn't show it at all.
So these players, they haven't got the motivation to get promoted to the best football league in the world. They haven't got the motivation to stay in the best league in the world. And Eddie, what the hell is happening? One person we're going to ask is John Spark, who's with us as well. John from Manchester. Hello, John. How are you?
Yeah, well, pretty awful, to be honest. I've not really sort of lost my cool during a match. Even against Reading, I didn't lose my cool in the same way I did watching that game. Particular players just not making the right decisions, really, at pretty much any moment during that game. It's like, I can use all the hyperbole I want, but it's just particular moments where I just feel as though, what are they being told to do? Like, it's because it's just not clear to me at all. I look at Brooks stood on the right-hand side, trying to just wait on the ball for 10 seconds, looking to see if the Sheffield Wednesday player, I don't know, blinks or whatever he's looking for to happen. Dan Juma consistently stalling on the ball. Earlier in the season, he'd get away from his man, he'd snap up a shot, and we might get a corner, we might get a goal. This time round, doesn't want to pass it, doesn't take the shot, gets slide tackled at the last second by Barry Bannon because he just doesn't decide to make a decision. Lloyd Kelly at that second goal was infuriating to see him jog towards the right winger and not block that cross. And I'd like to sort of try and delve into it more, but it's just not really possible to do at the moment. There's some players that I can see running around. There's people that I can see that look like they might do something, but it just doesn't look like the management is telling them what they need to hear. And nothing in the last 2 months really tells me that JT or the management staff have got what it takes to turn this around. Because, since the 5-0 win against Huddersfield, it's the 1-0 win against Stoke, 1-0 win against Wickham, which I didn't watch because I wasn't able to, but from what I heard was pretty turgid. It's the 1-0 win at Stoke, which I did watch, which again wasn't really a great game. And apart from that, it's draws with Luton, losses against Millwall, losses against so many other teams. And you would have thought he might try and change something to make it work, and he did. He went from the 3-4-3 that wasn't working to a 4-3-3 that's not working. So there's something that's not just the players. And considering this trajectory has been on a downward trajectory, this has been a downward trajectory for, at least 2 months. I cannot see Jason getting us out of this, or whoever they decide to he ever talks with, or whoever he was texting when he was on the bench that one moment, which I thought he might have been on the bell to Eddie trying to ask for some advice, but whatever it was, it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it was very tongue-in-cheek when I was saying he was playing Snake, and just to be clear, he wasn't. It was like he was communicating to other people. Like usually, it's done with phone calls, but not over WhatsApp. But to us fans, when you're seeing a dirge performance like that, it's not a good look, is it, Tom? Tom, there are so many people on chat at the moment saying what they want to happen to Tindall. I'm not going to put them on screen. You can see yourself on live chat. I don't know myself. I'm not too sure. And by the way, apologies if there was any echo at the start of the show. That's now gone. Tom, thoughts on JT?
Yeah, I mean, I can't batter anyone off with any sort of any kind of argument anymore. Start of the season, everyone knows I was, trying to back him. I think performances weren't great, but we were getting results. So yeah, just kept believing in the group and in Jason. But I can't argue with anyone tonight. Hope everyone appreciates I'm just the sort of person that finds it very difficult to call for someone's head that's been a part of a management team that has given me so many great memories and is a legend to the football club. That's I totally appreciate why people will, though. It's just the type of person I am, so I hope everyone appreciates that. But I can't disagree in the sense that things have got to change, and unfortunately you can't get rid of a squad of players. So it falls on the manager at the end of the day. And yeah, my worry is, like I've said to you before, is we could change the manager and maybe that's the right thing to do. But these players put in these performances. I saw it after the first lockdown behind closed doors when we got relegated, and that was under a different manager. That was under a manager that we know gets the best out of players. There's a reason why Eddie's not there anymore. And did he think I can't get the most out of this group now that the ones that I could always rely on are kind of becoming surplus to requirements in terms of age and ability and things like that? I don't know. I honestly don't know. You know what I'm like? I can talk about football all the time. I'm nearly speechless because I just can't. I can't remember being so annoyed with a team in terms of we've seen a lot worse players, but they'll put their all in and they leave everything on the pitch, and they're just not. I feel for Cookie. Because he can't do it all, and he's given his all. Whether he has the odd off performance. Asmir maybe should have done better with the first goal, but ultimately I feel for Asmir. God knows where we'd be without him. Apart from that, like I say, Sam Surridge worked hard, as he always does. But it's just a shambles, absolute shambles. And there was no point, as you mentioned at the start of the show, after 52 seconds, when they nearly should have scored, nothing changed. Not one moment after 52 seconds did I think we were going to win this football match. And as you said, credit to Sheffield Wednesday, but they're where they are in the league for a reason. Even add on the 6 points they got deducted, they'd still be near the bottom.
Yeah,
they look far better than us everywhere. But it's all the 50-50s. It's I've said for ages about the tempo. Why are we so slow? Why is there no urgency? Why is Dan Juma not shooting half the time? What's David Brooks doing? I mean, we wanted 40 million for David Brooks.
Oh mate. Well, you know what?
He's useless.
He's one of the players that I was just referring to in that first half. I mean, the chance that they had inside the first minute where he was on the right flank. Sheffield Wednesday had committed loads of men forward and their attack broke down. So we were trying to bring it out. And then he tries to nutmeg his marker on the right-hand side of the pitch. And lo and behold, it doesn't work. They've still got so many men forward, and they had a number of options, and it's played through to a guy that arguably should have done a lot better with his shot. It was quite tame in the end, but absolutely scary. And, this continuity, Jeff, that we all talked about with Jason Tindall, is going to be good for the players because there's the continuity. The continuity in JT seems to have continued the attitude that we saw from those last 9 or so games in the Premier League, doesn't it?
Yeah, the confidence looks absolutely shot to pieces. I mean, we can't even pass a simple ball 10 yards to another player. That's how bad the self-belief is in that team. And this is a team that just over 6 weeks ago destroyed Huddersfield Town 5-0 with some really nice football.
Mm.
How is that possible? How is that possible? And it's endemic throughout the bloody team.
It is.
You drop Lerma, you drop Billing, and you bring in Wilshere. Wilshere was fairly anonymous. Lewis Cook was misplaced passes in that first half, which is unlike him. David Brooks was brilliant comparatively to what he has been in that second half against Reading. All of a sudden, you give him a starting position, and he's back to what he's been. It's just, and then Lerma comes off the bench, having been dropped, and he plays all right. And you think, well, what is it? You can't drop them all and bring in another 11 to give them all a bollocking for the next game and then sub them out for the second half.
And you know what? It's always the manager that's always they're the full guy. Really interesting to see Rich saying, "Stop saying you don't know what the issue is. We don't have a capable manager." Was Eddie not a capable manager?
Yeah,
and that's my point, Sam. Is that as I keep reiterating, I'm not saying he's doing a good job.
No,
not
exactly.
at all. And nor are you. But
yeah, of course not.
These are the same players that got relegated. And the issue is we all keep going on about how fucking good our squad is. When did we see it? When have we last seen it? Because even at the start of the season, when we were getting the results, people were telling me how bad they are, how bad we're playing. These players, they don't care because they think, well, whatever happens, I'll just get a move. They'll all just get a move. They're not bothered at all. And I think, like Jeff was saying there, with players that come into the team and then they're poor and stuff like that. I think Neil, obviously, big man on the podcast, he put a tweet, I'm sure it was Neil, and he was bang on about the left-back situation. Rico plays and you think, God, we've got to play Kelly. Kelly plays, you think, God, we've got to play Rico. Whichever one plays, they're awful. So Rico will play next game. And we just have to keep changing it. And that's what I mean. Don't get me wrong. The manager's job, there's two key things. Is one, he's clearly not getting enough out of them. Whatever I say, he's just not. And secondly, the main concern, I don't see any kind of ideas. It's just kind of like change the system all the time, but just put out a group of players and hope they're good enough. I don't really see a pattern. I don't really see a tempo or anything like that. So that falls on the manager. Of course it does. But whatever he does, it's like, I feel for whoever were to come in, if someone else come in, because these players they're all over the place. They just really don't care. I really am concerned because I just don't see enough on that pitch that give a shit. And we're playing against teams that see us as a bit of a scalp. And we're going to really struggle to cope with that, in my opinion. I mean, it just said it all tonight we scored, the goal was a penalty. And apart from that, where we put a little bit of pressure on after the penalty, the goalie didn't have anything to do.
I know, we're supposed to have all the attacking riches in the Championship, and I don't think we registered a shot on target in the Championship. Person who might have something to say is Kirk Tovey, who we're going to bring in, and also Dan, a.k.a. Giron, as well. We're going to bring him in. We've got Morgan on standby. We've got Billy Day. Morgan's shouting at his screen there, but the thing is, Morgan, you're not the first, so you're going to have to wait just like everyone else, including Daniel, who's being very patient there, as is Jamie too. Kirk Tovey is with us as well, and also Dan. Kirk, I will let you go first. Explain that.
Want me to unload it?
Please.
JT never had the ability to do the job. I said this 5 months ago. He never had the CV. He never had the talent. And he's proven it right now because he makes 3 substitutions against Reading because he thinks the game's gone. He plays Mepham, who I don't think anyone on the planet tonight would have played Mepham apart from Jason Tindall. We can't defend. Lloyd Kelly just decides that he's going to stroll over to someone to cross the ball when we're at 1-1. Adam Smith, throughout his whole career, can't defend a high ball that comes over, and he can't use his body to stop someone trying to score a winner. We can't pass 10 yards. We can't pass 60 yards. And to put it all to bed, Jason Tindall decides to bring in a defensive-minded ex-player that I don't think's going to help the club.
Dan,
and you know what? Sorry, Sam. Just to finish off that, Sam. JT doesn't go for me until the man appointed him without interviewing anyone and having no CV goes first. And while the person that decided that JT was the right man for the job, while they're still at the club, JT stays at the club for me.
Yeah, and that's what a number of people have insinuated due to their relationship, which I understand. Dan, how are you?
I was just thinking about this. These people get paid to play football, and they get paid to get results. And it's actually embarrassing how bad. What was it that was said? Back to basics, wasn't it last week? We can't do the basics. We haven't been able to do the basics for about 5 games. Never mind any of these tactics. These players just don't give a shit. They don't care. None of them care, apart from the ones that have been here for a while. None of them care. They can piss off. They can go wherever. And the manager, he clearly is. He's not tactically clueless, but he's not far off. He doesn't have the ideas of he can't. He just isn't good enough. And I feel really bad because I really like Jason Tindall because he's been around the club and he has that connection with the club. And it's so hard to say, oh yeah, but it's worrying because I can't see us getting top 6. And
Do you know what the club did, Sam? They looked at that squad 5 months ago and went, do you know what? We can get out of this league no matter who's in charge. And they went for JT because he was the easy option, when actually the club was in a good position to go and get someone half decent to gather that group together that was going to be hit hard by Eddie leaving. And let's get on to Eddie Howe. He's a freak. Eddie Howe is a freak. He's a one of a kind, absolute genius. Jason Tindall is not Eddie Howe. Okay. And we had a chance to move on from that, bring in someone to take that squad who could inspire those players. I'm looking at the staff at the moment thinking, who's inspiring Danjuma, Brooks and Solanke to take their game to the next level? I don't see it.
He's not wrong, is he, Tom?
No, he's not wrong. And like I say, I've obviously tried to support the decision that was made, but it's not working. Like we keep alluding to, my worry is, and I totally agree with all the points Kirk's made, and we're clearly not getting the best out of the group. But let's remember, Eddie didn't get the best out of this group either last season. This was virtually the same group. I think he had a lot of stuff. I think there was a lot more behind that. Everything went against Eddie that season. I don't know, but what I do know is that he had that squad plus Nathan Ake plus Callum Wilson, and we were absolutely fucking appalling. Behind closed. I remember, we've said this before, but I remember a few games, Newcastle game, Palace game, and it was like this, players going through the motions, and that's not me. That's not me saying that Jason's doing a good job. I'm just saying that for me the main concern is I don't think the players care. I don't think it would be interesting to see what Josh King's like for Everton, for example. If David Brooks gets a move at the end of the season when we don't go up to another club, let's see how he is then, because I think they'll put a shift in when they want to, because we've got all this quality of players, and the second half, Sam Surridge, the first player that makes a run in behind, wins a penalty and gets us back in the game. He's nowhere near, Sam Surridge will be the first to tell you, he's nowhere near, should be near that team with the quality we've got. But that's someone who wanted to come on and prove himself. But yeah, like I keep saying, is I'm not arguing with anyone. And I've had obviously all the usual suspects coming at me tonight on Twitter. Yeah, just let's see if you're positive now and all this stuff. Listen,
what is it with
that? Of course I'm not positive now, but I'm really hurting at what I'm watching. I'd like to think they are too, because they're supposed to be fans of the football club, and I haven't tweeted anything positive tonight because how can I?
Can't believe they're still talking about you, mate. They must be drinking Clearasil rather than put it on their faces. Well, it's so weird.
If they want to, if they want to watch that crap and it makes them gloat to tweet me, then fair play. I'm obviously a big fish. But listen, I'm hurting as much as everyone else. I try to be positive and try to back a guy that we gave an opportunity and believe in these boys. And I certainly can't now with what I'm seeing. And it's I just find it really difficult to watch. I don't mind anyone's opinion. I'm finding it so difficult to watch this team at the moment, and that's what's hurting me.
Yeah, I mean, how can we believe in these players when they don't believe in themselves? You can see they just don't. I mean, Kurt, you could go out on that pitch and do better than half of those players because you can pass the ball to somebody, right? You can control it. You can. It's that freaking basic.
But do you know what, Jeff? 61% possession again.
Yeah,
every game we win possession. You don't get promoted owning 61% of the ball that your back four dominate. Do you know what? JT had an opportunity tonight. He had an opportunity to just throw out some youngsters, get Samura in there, get Surridge in there, get some players in there that are going to run for you, going to give it their all, going to want to prove something and kick some players up the fucking ass. But did he do that? No, he went with the players that's let him down for 7 games and he's got the same result. And do you know what? If he'd have done that tonight and still lost or got a draw, some fans might have gone, do you know what? He had the balls to throw some rockets up some people tonight, but he didn't. He bottled it again. He went with the same people that's letting him down week in, week out. And for me, he's not a strong enough character, but he doesn't go until the man that appointed him goes, in my opinion.
That I agree with that in the sense that if I was a manager at a football club and I had players continuously underperforming and continuously letting me down, I would think, well, this is my job on the line here. I need to put some people in that I can trust first and foremost. So you would put in, your Sam Surridge, people that are going to fight, get them basics in first. So yeah, that does definitely surprise me. He's playing the same things that fell. And I think we said I think it was on your show, Kirk, that we're having all the possession, and that's the whole point, because all teams are coming to us and go on then, knock it around the back four if you want. You ain't threatening us, and we're just still doing it. The tempo is pathetic, and we're going to have all that possession all season because teams are letting us, because they're thinking, why would we bother pressing you lot, knocking it about the back? We'll wait, it's fine. And it's happened again tonight. It's just the same stuff.
Just to make my final. Sorry, just make final comments, because I'm sure there are a lot of people looking to get in and make their points, and I'm not saying anything at the moment, so I'll leave after my final comments.
Yeah.
But they've just started saying it as well, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of motivation and confidence. At the moment, I don't see any confidence in those players at all. And I don't really see very much motivation. I saw motivation from Sam Surridge, which he would have put him in himself, to say, JT hasn't played me, I'm going to show what I can do. And funnily enough, it was wonderful to see when I saw Stanislas on that right wing, and when he looked up, and when I looked at that Sheffield Wednesday back line, I saw Surridge just go to make that move, which hasn't happened for the last month. No one's done that. So someone actually was able to motivate themselves, but no one else, apart from maybe Steve Cook, I can say was really able to motivate themselves. And that, at the end of the day, especially when you've got a very congested schedule like we do in this league and we do in all the other football leagues now with COVID, the manager's job above all things right now is to have a style of play that the team are comfortable with, are confident at, and to make sure he can motivate them to go out every week and perform to the best of their ability. And I can say nope on the first one, I can say nope to the second one, and I can say nope to the third one. And at the end of the day, that is all those things culminate to the kind of performances we've seen over the last 4 or 5 days. And that cannot continue, and I'll still get anything from this season.
John, thanks so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's John Spark there, and Jeff as well. I expect you don't want to take part in too much more than this, do you?
No, that's enough. I mean, geez, speechless.
Thanks for keeping our spirits up, though, Jeff, with the John Bailey interview. That was amazing. Cheers for that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if it wasn't for doing those interviews, where is the joy in watching that? Where is it? It's anyway.
I don't know what happened in the summer, but they should have done everything in their power to keep Eddie there. I know Eddie struggled for the last year in the Premier League and everything that went against the club and VAR and all that jazz, but we wouldn't be in this mess with Eddie Howe if we'd have regrouped. Yeah. And if it's too late now, Eddie won't come back. He's got future plans, I'm sure. But I'd have done everything in my power to give him whatever he needed to get this club back to the Premier League, and we would be in a better shape. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, brilliant. Jeff?
On to Birmingham on Saturday, can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Might not even buy the £10 from AFCB TV. Might not. Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, cheers, Jeff.
Guys.
Thank you, mate. Jeff. And also, Dan, closing remarks before we bring in some more, because there's been some people patiently waiting, including Morgan. Right. So when you
it's quite clear that this team, as John was saying, it's just a lack of motivation, lack of confidence. You see, after we score that penalty, we think, oh my God, we might have to win a game there against Sheffield Wednesday. It's almost like we have that belief once we've scored, but we don't start with that. We start with slow football that doesn't Sheffield Wednesday are just doing the basics very, very well. They set up, we just play around them. But because they're doing the basics well and we're not, we can't do anything. They're saying all these teams that are going to be physical down the bottom. This is a perfect opportunity against a team that's struggling at the moment to make a point, get back on track. There's no more January transfer window. There's no more speculation. All the players should be motivated. Admittedly, a lot of them are going to be confident. This is a game to get the confidence back, but instead we do the same thing again. And the players not get rewarded for good performances. Why is Surridge not getting another game after he has a great game? Why is Zamora not having another game after he has a great game? Why do players continuously get starts when they play like shit? It doesn't make any sense. Give all the answers a go. But
spot on, Dan. Spot on,
Mate, your voice, and what, we would be voicing our frustrations at Dean Court, and we would be telling the players how they feel. Obviously, they'll see the reaction on social media, but it's so difficult when on Instagram they sort of do these generic posts. A lot of their players' Instagram Accounts aren't even managed by them, and they just put out generic bullshit. And that's what we'll see again. We'll see the standard PR. We go again, lads, and all that crap. Oh, why don't you go again? Why don't you actually fucking give it a go? Because we're just not seeing it at all at the moment. Dan, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Oh, bloody hell. Right, Morgan is here with us too, and we're also going to bring in Billy Day and Daniel as well to make it 6 ways. We don't usually do this, but there's a lot of people to get through. Simon and Craig and Jamie are standing by next. Morgan, Scott, you've been waiting for a while. I thought, what was the thing about the hat? You said you were going to wear it until we won or lost or whatever it is, but either way, you know. You
new one, Morgan. No, I'm going to wear it when I'm pissed off. It was thoroughly disheartening. I actually thought I might put my kit on at half time and actually go down there and see if I could get on the bench for the second half, because I have a coordination difficulty in my brain, which makes football quite hard sometimes. But I reckon I could have made a pass, actually scored a goal, got in behind, done something with the football, played, gave a bit of fight, and actually ran myself until I physically couldn't, because it hurts. The amount of effort that we put in tonight, apart from Sam Surridge when he came on, was hopeless. There was no energy, there was no passion, there was no determination, there was no fight. And we sit here and we chat about it for a couple of hours or whatever, and they just get away with it. It happens week in, week out. You just can't put in a terrible performance like that. And what really gets on our nerves is it just keeps happening. It happens too often. 3-0 on Friday. I said last night I tried to be positive. 3-0. How can you be positive after that? A shamble. And I'm like Tom and Kirk and stuff. I tried to be positive, but tonight I'm going to come out and tell it how it is, because it's just shocking. It's simply and utterly shocking. There's no other word for it. If Jason Tindall came out and played some more, like the lads were saying, then maybe you could sit here and try and, hey, okay, he's been brave enough to try it. But again, Saturday, he has to change it. He has to make decisions. David Brooks doesn't deserve to be even in that 18. Other players don't deserve to be in that 18. There is nothing. Bring Gavin Kilkenny in. Bring Jaden Anthony in. I don't know what others think. Maybe that's not great, but something's got to change. And the youth, I swear, they'll do a better job than what we just witnessed tonight. It's just, ugh.
Yeah, completely agree. Billy's with us as well. See, you've had something going on with your hair over the last couple of days as well. Look, I have.
I've got mine blonde, thinking I will sit back. I've done my hair blonde and we'll have a nice, great evening tonight. No, I am disheartened. Just want to go back in time a little bit. Who remembers going to games like Dagenham away and getting results like that when they're trying to compete for the championship, to be back in the Premier League? My locals, Dagenham, they could beat the shit out of us, their team, because they're fighting for their lives at the moment. They would put in 110%. Chris Mepham and Lloyd Kelly, where did you win your places? A cereal box. Seriously. I'm normally the positive, but no, I am livid tonight, absolutely livid. And I think the only person that will come out and say that they know they're hurting is Steve Cook. Like, the other days, they still get their wages. I've had enough of this.
Well, Sam Surridge has just been on Solent, as Mr. Tiggs has said we're not fighting and we're paying the price. And you know what? With all due respect to Chris Temple for doing his job, it's not him I want to hear from. It's just David Brooks.
It's going to be Sam Surridge tonight.
Yeah.
And,
and
the next person they'll get, it'll only be Steve Cook or Sam Surridge. That's the only ones they'll get on now. Just like after Reading, they went, at least Stacey put a shift in. We'll have Stacey. They won't go over to David Brooks and get an interview now.
No, and you know why that they'll put players like that out? Because they say the things that we want to hear.
Yeah,
whereas if you do, give it to someone else that doesn't seemingly give a shit, it's only going to make it worse. Daniel in Florida, hello mate. That was pretty poor, wasn't it?
Yes. Before I say anything, hello to everyone, and I have an example. Like the Dan who was here on his YouTube video about when Bournemouth got relegated, and that was reacting to all the games. And I feel like that's happening again for some reason. I feel like we're playing, I don't want to say we're playing the same way, but it kind of seems like we're playing the same way. But this is what the players who know that a Premier League team is not going to sign them, they're trying. But the players that know they're going to go to a Premier League team to get benched, they would go. And it just gets me blown out of my mind because if Millwall scores a goal, they will go ahead of us. If they win, we're going to be 7th place. It's just so annoying because the players don't care. The fans are hurting more. The fans are hurting more, and it's just disgusting to watch. I was so excited. This is my birthday week, and now I'm so sad that we lost to Sheffield Wednesday. They were playing dirty. And we lost to them. They were playing so dirty, and we lost to them.
Do you know what the worrying thing is? Daniel could probably get the players more motivated than JT can at the moment. That's worrying. And do you know what? Come Saturday, let's wind back to December the 15th. And I was in the stadium, and Tom, you were there as well. And I was really angry with Junior Stanislas when he grabbed Surridge because Surridge didn't pass him the ball. Do you know what? I'm looking back on that now, thinking actually Stanislas just cares. He just wants the best for the club, and he knew that he did wrong, but that was his ambition to get back to the top of the game at his footballing career. And I would load that team next on Saturday with Stanislas, Surridge, Steve Cook and Begovic, and chuck all the youngsters in. And Daniel's
right as well, Sam. If you ever when we eventually get off here, go and have a look back at the free-for-all after, I believe it was Newcastle, when was it 4-1 or something? When during relegation, we're all saying the same things. We're all saying exactly the same things, and we're all showing the same hurt in terms of the level, the lack of desire and things like that on the pitch. And Daniel's definitely right about that for sure. So and I tweeted at half time saying that Millwall got a good point with Norwich earlier, and that's not good for us because we're closer to Millwall.
We're closer to Millwall than Norwich. Well,
and we are Norwich.
That absolutely sums it up. Daniel, have you got any closing remarks before we switch it around?
Very, very, very disgusting to see. And if we don't win the next one, expect us being the next championship team who will be in the championship team until we sign someone from loan, and then we go to the Premier League, then come back down because that player from loan will leave us.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Sorry that I was super upset. It just bothers me so much.
Enjoy your birthday, Daniel.
Yeah, enjoy your birthday, mate.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Daniel. It's not been a good day. Thanks very much. That was Daniel from Florida. And Billy, closing remarks, mate?
Well, I just got a couple of stats here. Right, 4 defeats in a row, only 1 win in our last 8. Something's got to change, and we just don't know what's going to happen. I think Birmingham are just going to be laughing at us now. But there's no high hopes for next week.
Billy, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Love the hair, by the way. Love the hair. It's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. And we will switch things around because there are plenty of people looking to get in.
Yeah, let's
Morgan. Morgan, I'll come to you shortly. But Tom, Max is a businessman. Max is a businessman, and he wants to get back to the Premier League. What's his first move?
Oh, I don't know. These Kirk's mentioned it a few times. These are the same group of people that employ Jason. I don't see them now going and spending money to get another manager in. If they do, I think we'll see Sean Cooper. Honestly, these are the people that employ Jason Tindall. I don't see them going out and getting an experienced manager or anything like that. Obviously, we know Neil Blake's kind of, married to a Russian, all the links with Maxim, and then he's friends with Jason and all that stuff that you hear. So I don't think we'll go out and rebuild and try and change anything like that. And like I say, at the start of the season, I obviously Kirk's right now. At the start of the season, I looked at it, tried to be, I'm glad with the continuity side of things. I love Jason, blah, 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 and let's see what happens. But it certainly looks now, what Kirk said earlier, that we were a little bit naive and thought, this squad, do we really need to worry too much who's in charge of this squad? Because look how good these lot are. We'll be fine. and that's how it looks, and it's not worked. And I'll rip your hand off for 6th place now, mate. I can't believe I'm saying that. When did we? What was the first? Oh, it was the Oldham Cup game where I predicted us to win the league. Fuck off.
Well, that's not going to happen now, is it? Tom, cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Take care. Thanks very much.
Cheers,
Tom,
mate.
Jordan there, and also Kirk Tovey. Closing remarks after that, all for evening.
Yeah, and the naivety of the club, they thought they could get away with it this year, and we hit the ground running because of the squad that we had. But now we're getting into the business end of the Championship, a long 46-game season. We've been found out. Teams know how to play us now, and we don't have the answers at the top to deliver that on the pitch. He had a chance tonight, as I said, to switch it right up and just get some passion and some heart on there. And he didn't do it. And he's not done his job any favours. But for me, he stays in a job until the person that employed him goes.
Said it all. Cheers, Kurt. And looking forward to watching the reaction on your channel, Cherries Red Army. I plug it every time, but I think it needs to be done. If you haven't searched for Cherries Red Army on YouTube, do it now. Find Kirk's channel and make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm sure there's going to be some fallout on his channel as there is on this one. That's Kirk Tovey. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you coming on. And Morgan, we are going to switch it by the way of having Craig Beasley, Ben Phillips and Simon Kay, who are coming in shortly. Keith standing by as well. We got Ethan, Aaron and Zach and Algard as well, and also Jamie's there as well, I think somewhere down there. But Morgan, closing remarks before you say goodbye.
I think most people have said it. I think most people have said it all already. One thing I would just like to say is, as I said last week, for anything is possible, and tonight there's just no reason to be positive. As I mentioned, when you got people like Daniel saying how disgusting it is, and you got professional managers who can't seem to they can't seem to get the squad to win or perform. It's not even about winning, it's about the performance. Although it's about trying to win, of course. But if you don't have a good performance, you're never going to win. But last thing I'm going to say, Sam, if I may, is it's not about always. You've got to give some blame on the manager, but I blame the other people on the pitch. JT can only go out and give them the coaching all week. He can't make them give everything. He can't do that. They have to do it. They have to be the one who get the ball down, play good football. Don't play this slow, crappy around the back. Play it out to the win. We got one of the best squads that we ever had. And there's only one place that will be going. We're going to have to recruit because that squad will not be at Dean Court next season if we don't start to push on. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, cheers. Appreciate it. And if you want to take part tonight, the link, I don't know how long we're going to go on, but we are going to try to get around to everyone. And it's afcbpodcast.com/take part. And that is an open invite for the trolls from Sheffield Wednesday that are tippy-tapping away on chat. Yeah, I know we were shit. You don't have to say it. But if you want to say it one more time, you'll be blocked. How do you like them apples? Right, let's bring in a few more people. So, firstly, we've got Simon Kay. Simon, evening. We've also got Craig Beasley here too, and also Ben Phillips as well. Right, so, firstly, I'll come to you, Ben. What was that? What did we just watch?
I've got one thing for this.
To the same question that it's time to go!
Claude from AFTV there. It's time to go. You're obviously very unhappy with the way things are going, and you think the manager's the reason for that. Is that right?
Yeah, I just don't think he has enough faith in the younger players, and I just think he doesn't change it up. There's no tactics really in the football club. I don't see where we're going. I just feel like it's always the sideways passing, Cook to Mepham, out to Smith, and it's just always so slow. Like, one win in the last 8 games for a squad that is the most expensive in the Championship. It's quite embarrassing, to be brutally honest. There's just nothing, and it looks like we're playing for mid-table, honestly. If someone were to be watching and they didn't know anything about the Championship and they just saw that game, they would think that we were a lower mid-table side who didn't have a manager, didn't have any coaching staff, and didn't really have anyone to care about the club.
To be honest, that's being kind, Ben. Lower mid-table,
yeah,
I would say bottom 3, based on that.
that's true. And I may be wrong, but I think we've taken 0 points off Sheffield Wednesday. I think is it 1 point off Derby, and they're like 23rd and 22nd. Like for a team that can be beating Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, and all of that, to be doing that, it's just embarrassing. It's awful.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. Now, there's a lot of people obviously talking about JT. 2 words, Tindall out. That's what most people are saying. I wouldn't know where to go from here, though, Craig. You know, which managerial appointment? I mean, well, we're obviously running before we can walk by having this conversation, but it's a conversation that some people think we should be having about who would we get in next. I don't know.
Is it after the watershed, Sam?
Yeah. Ethan, put your fingers in your ears, mate. Yeah, go on.
That, I hope the players are watching this, because that was a fucking shambles, put nicely. An absolute shambles. Sheffield Wednesday have scored 15 or 16 goals all season, and they've got 2 against us. Metham, what was he actually thinking? You know, when he passed that was basics. Yeah. That was absolute basics. You know, surely he should realise, you know, where, firstly, you know, the attacker was, and secondly, you know, where the goalkeeper was. It was an absolute shambles. The second goal, Kelly, well, I don't even know what he's doing. You know, there was me going on about how he was a replacement for Ake. I think I must be going insane, because I tell you what, it was an absolute joke. It was an absolute joke. And to be fair, these players have let down Eddie. They've let down Jason, 2 of the most loyal servants of this football club. And it's an absolute joke. You know, Jason's made mistakes, yes. Don't get me wrong. Eddie made mistakes with some of his team selections. However, tonight was an absolute shambles. Sheffield Wednesday are rubbish. Yeah. I'm sorry, and if any of the Sheffield Wednesday fans who are banging on and saying, you know, ha ha ha, I tell you what, you know, you're crap yourselves. To be fair, you're absolute crap. But the problem is we are worse. You know, that was an absolute shambles. They've let Jason down. They've let Eddie down. They've let the whole club down. They're not playing for the badge. I tell you what, I am absolutely livid tonight. Yeah. Absolutely livid. You know, the thing is, you know, the other night, you know, we was up against a decent side. Against Luton, they're a fair side. Oh, but tonight, we were not up against a good side. We were up against a side who are terrible, you know, and you know, I was speaking to Alex from the Sheffield Star, and you know, absolutely lovely bloke, but you know, he admitted, you know, that there's the lowest scorers. Where are they going to get out of this from? And I tell you what, you know, they did, you know, they did a job on us, but they weren't particularly very good. Well, you know, with that squad, Sam, very quickly. Yeah, go on. With that squad, we've got Brooks, you know, who was touted, you know, sorry for shouting everybody's ears, but
yeah.
But we've got Brooks, you know, who's touted as, you know, a fantastic star, might be going to Man United. To be honest, I fucking drive him there. After that, that is an absolute. Honestly, it's a joke. Man United won't bloody want him anyway at the moment. Yeah, you know, I don't think bloody Sheffield United will want him back.
It seems there's a blueprint, Simon, that the opposition teams are just watching how a series of the teams that I mentioned at the very start of the show have played against us. So I'm talking about the likes of Luton, Millwall, QPR, Rotherham, Derby, Preston, Cardiff, Middlesbrough. Sheffield Wednesday the first time round, and they're just thinking, and it's so easy to play against us now. It's a joke because they know that they can smell blood whenever they play us. They know that if they are like reasonably solid, at some point we'll lose our heads and we will, we'll make a mistake, as we tend to do. People always giving the ball away, as Brooks did early doors, and they obviously scored, and they tried to shut up shop, and then we did our usual thing. We had about 5 minutes, but they hung in there, and that's what teams just need to do, and they will get that chance. And it's happened so many times this season. There's no positive spin, is there, at the moment?
No, I'm not going to shout like I did the other day. I think Craig's done a brilliant job there at exploding. So just manage your blood pressure just for a sec there, Craig.
Cheers, mate.
I had a lovely dog walk a few minutes ago, and that was the closest thing I can get to that game because it was total dog shit. However, from a pragmatist point of view, everyone's spoken about tactics, attitude, motivation. There's a few things I want to talk about, and I think the first is we were never prepared for relegation. Eddie was building that squad to challenge further up the league. The kind of players that you sign to do that job means you're looking up, you're not looking down. I believe our whole organisation never expected relegation to happen. You compare us to other clubs like Norwich that are quite happy yo-yo up and down. They keep the nucleus of their side together because they understand they will probably get relegated, but they will go again. And they have an attitude and a core and a unit that can do that. We've often had a go at Watford about them changing their managers around, but people at the top have a plan. They know where they want to go. And I think sometimes we don't. Motivation has often been a problem for this club. When things are down, we never seem to have the right people around to give the players the nurturing. It's not always necessarily a rocket up the arse. Although the most entertaining thing of that game today was the SpaceX rocket blowing up. If you missed it, go check it out. You'll enjoy it. Yeah. But that's it. So when you go and get relegated and you've got 7 or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 prima donnas in your squad that all want to look up to the Premier League, but they don't actually understand what it takes to get out the Championship because they never felt like they'd be there or deserved to be there. That's a problem. So that's why right at the start of the season, I was kind of a pragmatist. Look, if we get the top 6, great. I do agree that it's our one chance with the squad we have because the type of players they are to get back to the Premier League. But if we stay in the Championship for a few years, I'd rather have a bunch of positive kids that really want to give it a go. So there's a lot of problems here that go back longer than just the last 7 or 8 games.
Yeah, agreed. And Ben, just before you go, your mic is muted, but I think you can unmute yourself. There you go. What the hell do we do against Birmingham City? I mean, we don't know who our manager's going to be at that point in time. A lot of people think that there should be a change over the next few days, but assuming it's JT, what does JT do?
Give other people a chance who actually want to play. I can't remember who said it before, but I think we should start the players who look like they want to play, like Begovic, Steve Cook, Sam Surridge, and all of them lot. And I feel like we should give younger players a chance, like Riquelme, who haven't really had a chance to really show what they're made of. And I think if we play players like him, then I think maybe there could be something. I doubt there will be, because I think there maybe is a bigger issue at the club than just the performances on the pitch. But yeah. You said it well, Ben. And what we're going to do, we're going to do a complete change up. So Simon, I appreciate it was brief, and Craig and Ben, just because you've got so many people waiting. So Simon, thanks very much for coming on. Really appreciate it, mate. Craig, nice one as ever. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Sam. Hopefully, well, it can't be no worse against Birmingham. To be fair, I am, and the last thing I want to say, I'm completely behind JT. I hope he'll make the changes that need to be made, and I hope that the players are watching this video tonight, because at the same time they need to pull their bloody finger out and turn this round. Us as fans, we love this football club, and the likes of Brooks, and we have got on paper, and as we showed last season, easily the best team in this division. Easily the best team in this division. So why are they not bloody showing it? And I'm absolutely furious with what I've seen tonight because Sheffield Wednesday are crap.
Right.
I'm sorry,
Well, mate,
but they're crap.
Yeah, you said it all, mate. I've got to switch it around.
Yeah,
Tim,
no
mate.
problem, mate.
That's probably the longest goodbye I've ever had before. And also, Ben Phillips, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it, mate. Cheers. So if you want to take part, including Wednesday fans who are going off on chat, have some stones and get on the chat. AFCBpodcast.com/take part. You know what? To make it easier for you, there's the link. Take part. Chat to us in person. If you can. If you can. You're going to get relegated, aren't you? Come on, answer me back. Argue with me face to face. Come on, let's have some banter. We want you on the chat. We'd really appreciate it if you came on. Right then, let's get some youth on the show because I feel as though we need some. So, the legend that is Ethan Burney's here. We got Aaron and Zach as well who are here, and also, oh my God, it's falling apart here. And also, let's also see who we've got as well. We got Jamie with us as well. So apologies whilst things are falling down where I am here. Got a bit of a dodgy setup. And also, where are we? Let's go for George as well, who's here. George is here too. But Ethan, I'll start with you. How are you?
Well, not good really, except from that result.
No.
But
you talked to me about it, mate. Where did it go wrong, mate?
Defence really. First goal, Memphis, poor pass.
Yeah.
Second goal, well deserved, great cross, but nothing Begovic can do really. But we'll take a pen. But Junior scored it. We'll take it. But we go on.
We go on. Oh, mate, I feel your pain. I feel your pain there because you must have been watching that so disappointed, as were Aaron and Zach, who are with us as well. How are you guys?
Hi there. Can you hear us? Can you hear us all right?
Yeah. So sorry for making you wait for so long. How are you? You all right?
That's all right. We got Josh. We got Joshua as well, who's behind.
Josh, all right, mate. So how was your household tonight watching that game?
Oh my God. I was so disappointed.
You know what? Zach first started coming when we were in League One the season before we got promoted, and I said to both of these boys tonight, I wish we were back in League One with a team who actually gave a crap. To be honest with you,
yeah.
You know, we were all last season saying the likes of Sermon, Francis, Daniels, Pugh, time for them to leave. God, I wish they were back now because they wore the heart on their sleeves.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not a team anymore. We've got, I mean, Craig said before, we've got the best team in the league. We haven't got the best team in the league. We've got a bunch of fantastic individuals, but they're not a team. And they're not a team. And I do hold a lot of blame for Jason Tindall, but at the same time, those players were disgusting, apart from Steve Cook and Stanislas. Yeah, other than that, they just don't care. They don't care.
Daniel and Brooks didn't show up whatsoever until he scored. They're okay. Look, Methven, I don't know what he's doing. Against Birmingham next week, we scored 8 with Sermon, Francis, Richie, Ranty. I don't know if we're going to score 1. We're going to lose. No confidence.
We were saying, you know, people talk about formations, and we've been watching you throughout the lockdown, and this is the first time we've been on. First of all, thank you, because we have loved every minute of it. Watch all the interviews, all the lives, and we felt compelled to come on tonight. Talk about formations. I mean, JT is you know, the definition of insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over and over again. Dom Solanke is isolated every single game in a front three. It's not a front three at all because he is isolated. Every game when we've started 2 up front, whether it be Surridge and Dom, Barnsley, Coventry, Birmingham, all these are, and it just makes absolutely no sense whether he wants to play a 5-2-3 or a 3-4-3 or whatever he tries to do. There's no cohesion on the pitch whatsoever. No one knows what they're supposed to be doing, and it's very, very sad to see because even before tonight, I said, you know, we've got now Sheffield Wednesday at home, Birmingham at home, and then Rotherham, etc. And I was prepared to give the benefit of the doubt, but I just this is the first time this season I failed to believe we might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean that's how it feels. And George is with us as well. George, no camera, but you've got microphone only today. How are you?
Where do I start with that?
Where do you start? Well, firstly, opinions on JT. Have you got any thoughts about his position at AFC Bournemouth?
Get him out. There's no tactics there. It's just Here's a formation, play it, try and get a goal. They don't do anything. They just stand there.
Yeah, it's scary, the value of player, squad value. I'm not sure if there's a league table, but I'm pretty sure we'd be up there, top 2, maybe top 3. Not too sure what Sheffield Wednesday was. I mean, they've got a team that is greater than the sum of its parts, and ours is completely the opposite way round, isn't it, George?
Yeah, no, there's no players fighting. Just want to see someone that cares.
Yeah,
like I want to see players putting balls through and getting the striker some chances.
Yeah, mate, completely agree. Ethan, before we let you go, because it is quite late, what would you like to see on Saturday? I mean, firstly, 3 points against Birmingham City would be lovely, but any personnel, any players that you would like to see being played on Saturday?
Ben Pearson, obviously.
Yeah. Sam Surridge?
Yeah, Sam Sturridge and Solanke. We need those support. Like Ben Pearson needs to play those through balls. His through balls that I've been watching on YouTube are class. That's what we need.
Yeah, we need a bit of fight. So out of 10, rate tonight's performance, Ethan.
Probably say a 5.
5. Oh, well, as high as that, I mean, probably generous. Ethan, I appreciate you were waiting so long, and it was a very short time on air, but there's loads of people waiting to get on. Hopefully you can come on again on Saturday, and I'll give you more airtime. Cheers, Ethan. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Good. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Very polite.
Can we also just say, where have all the youngsters gone?
Yeah.
I mean, Simpson, who... I'll hold my hands up. I wasn't a massive fan of his. He played 7 games in a row a few weeks ago. We had 5 clean sheets. 5 clean sheets in 7 games for Simpson.
Yeah.
Off the ball. Anthony's gone. Anthony and Kilkenny are nowhere to be seen anymore. Surridge hardly gets a game. And I'm thinking, what did Jack Simpson do wrong? Because, Kelly comes in at centre-back. He looks diabolical. Mepham comes in, looks diabolical. Carter Vickers, I thought, actually has done quite well once he's been in. Doesn't seem to get a look in. A solid foundation of a good team is when you play the same defence week in, week out, and he's switching week to week, game to game.
Yeah.
That's left.
I'll tell you what, that's frustrating trying to run a live show and then your internet cuts out on you, isn't it? Not the best. Anyway, really apologise for that. I've managed to reboot. Apologies at home, but I tell you what, I needed that bit of time out because I managed to run to the fridge and get another beer whilst the router rebooted. Zach and Aaron, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. And George, closing remarks.
I would like Virgil to play tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, next game. Just because he's 16. When he played last, he looked like a solid player. Yeah. Him, Ben Pearson, and Lewis Cook, I reckon, should start against. Is it Birmingham next?
Yeah, that's right, Birmingham City. My God, and you know what? I've just been watching Man United. A 7-0 up against Southampton, and someone's just said 8-0. I don't know whether that's the case or not, but that doesn't even bring a smile to my face to see them getting absolutely hammered because it's 8-0 now. Anthony Martial, oh my God, they've been humbled again. But you know what? They're in the Premier League, and I would take these sort of national humblings if you've got a manager capable of raising your players. And seemingly at the moment we haven't. George, thanks so much for coming on, mate.
Thank you.
And Jamie's here as well. Jamie, you all right?
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay there. We're going to get Keith on, and also we are going to get Jamie on too. And a few more people are waiting as well, including Steve and Reese. So we're going 6 ways here. There's a couple more people that we're going to be bringing in after this. We're going to have no more after this, otherwise we could be here all night. Jamie, talk to me, mate. Tell me about that.
Terrible performance.
Dog. Absolute dog, wasn't it?
I thought it couldn't get worse from Reading, but I guess not. Mepham shouldn't be starting now.
We could have forgiven the Reading performance. Look, they're a top side and we could have just had an off day. But this was the match to bounce back against. A team that are 23rd. Yes, they've won 4 and 6, but most of their form is at home. Away, they're not great. They're in the relegation zone for a reason. Even without the 6 points, they would be, they would be still down there. And they've got a handful of all right players, but compare them man for man, you wouldn't put a single one of their players in our side based on technical ability, but based on heart, you probably would. Because at the moment, Jamie, our players are just showing no fight and no aggression at all, are they?
No, Pearson needs to start. I don't know why JT didn't start him. He was the person who needed to change the squad around, but didn't get the start, and Birmingham should be the game, hopefully.
Yeah. My goodness. Keith? You all right?
Evening, Sam. Evening, everyone. Wow.
Remember this kid's on, Keith.
Yeah. I do you know what? I think this is even worse than we're recognising. We're saying this is a top-level squad. It clearly isn't. And I think Tom alluded to it. This is a squad that's also done in Eddie. And I was listening to Eddie on the match of the day too. He's not rushing back into football anytime soon anyway. So anyone who's got any hopes of him coming back, I think are going to be sorely disappointed. No, I'm with Simon Kay. This is a rot that's come right in, and it was with us last season. I think you've got the power of agents really working their magic at the moment. They've all got powerful agents, and I would imagine they're putting on pressure to get their players played, so they get them out on the window. How on earth Josh King has got to Everton on his performance this season, heaven knows. But this is, when you've got this sort of thing going on, it will do in the biggest managers. Mourinho at Chelsea, Conte at Chelsea. They could afford to get someone else in, but we can't. And I think if everyone wants the trigger pulled, then we've got to move on to the question: well, who's the next man to come in? And that is that's the $64,000 question I think we should be focusing on. But this has been coming for about 18 months now, and as I say, it's just a repeat of Newcastle, Watford, Norwich. It's just a repeat of that. And certainly Mr. Brooks, if he thought he was going to Man U, not on his current form, but he's got an agent that probably can get him to a Premiership club. We don't have that luxury. This smells like Sunderland. That's my fear. It smells like Sunderland. We could go through all managers until we get rid of some of these players. It could be that terminal. So that's my worry. Because last season, Sheffield Wednesday were third at Christmas, and then they dropped like a stone. And there's a message for Sheffield Wednesday fans: your club could be going bankrupt, so don't count your chickens just yet. But we're not here to worry about them. It's our club, and I really, really am seriously concerned. We could get rid of Jason. It's who's next, and who's next on the chopping block.
Oh, Jamie, I'm looking to certain people for some lights, but I'm just looking at everyone thinking
there is none, Sam, is there?
Yeah, exactly. There is no light to give, and there is. And Jamie, this is surely what Max is thinking.
well, is his money. He's invested 130 odd million into the club. So if he wants to try and get back into the Premier League and try and recoup some of that, even if he wants to sell, sort of thing, or even you probably want to keep. If we get back up, you probably want to sell it at this highest value, sort of thing. But if he wants to protect his asset, then he may well be looking at the manager. Because at the moment, we've got a completely demotivated team, which is sad, really. I don't think anyone really wanted him to fail, obviously, because we're all supporters. But at the moment, the players have all the talent, probably on paper, at least comparable with the likes of Watford, Norwich. And we're losing to teams and putting performances in that just is inadequate. The basics of football and the fundamentals. How many times do you have to say it? Like over the last 8 games. Like we can't pass 3 yards to each other. Like it epitomised everything from the first 30 seconds, 52 seconds. I think the Kachunga chance come from kickoff. Lewis Cook missed touch. Jack Wilshere missed touch. Ball goes out to Stacey up the wing to Brooks. He has a missed touch. We give it inside, and we Begovic has made a 1-on-1 save after 52 seconds, and that just set the stall out. Like, they can't do the basics of the game. There's next to no tactics. The distances between players, we're like 3 yards off a press. We like go in ones and twos. The distance between the back line and the front line is like 60, 70 yards. And people wonder why why the defenders are passing around the back between themselves and the goalkeeper. Well, if you look up the pitch and you see the defenders going, where's my options? Because you've got essentially got a front four with like 2 centre midfielders who are like hiding essentially, and the ball just goes long. And then you got up front, you got Solanke, who's isolated near enough every game. He's not a 9. He's not really a 10. He's like in between. He's always going to come off the defenders and come towards the ball. But if you've got no one penetrating them behind and asking questions and stretching defence like Surge in the second half, you're always going to cause issues, because the centre half is just going to keep coming up Solanke, and then people wonder why he loses the ball a lot and his touch is off, because he's always under pressure and no one's making the defenders think twice. They got no one going behind. And
they're static as well, aren't they, Jamie? They're just no movement at all on that pitch, is there? Absolutely no movement. They're static.
Everyone's coming short, and everyone's passing on responsibility. No one wants to take individual responsibility. That's on the ball and off the ball. Like when teams go and press, the best teams defend as a team and attack as a team. Our compartments, our units, like on our lines, too far apart. The individual players, like centre midfielders, like 6-7 yards apart. Look at the last goal, Kelly. How far is he off the cross? Even in the build-up to getting the ball to the wide area, Lewis Cook rushing in like a dog after a bone. Lerma rushing in, dog after a bone. At 6, 7, 8, 9, under 9s football, you get taught, like, if you're going to go into a tackle, you run in, like, and then you slow down before you get there to compose yourself to make a tackle. Both of those two straight in, one pass beats one, the other pass beats the other. Lloyd Kelly 5 yards off the cross at the back post. Smith has gone, he ain't got a chance. Like, it's just not good enough. But then the basics of the game and the fundamentals, like defending, passing the ball, touches, everything is just not there. And Jason's got to take a proportion of the blame, and it's sad to see that it's all going to come to a head for him at some point, because if Max is seriously going to protect his asset, but the players are just not playing for the manager, and they're not playing for themselves. They've got no personal pride. Like, when you guys go to work, you don't need motivating from your managers. You, like, now, especially working from home, like, you get up and you do it because you got personal pride. Like, we don't have that. We don't have professionalism. And like Keith said, it's been going on for, I said it on the last post-match sort of interview, like, this has been going on for 18 months, like, and 2 years. This has been a downward spiral. And I'm not sure who said it. I think it was Simon who said, we built a team that was, from an organisational standpoint, that was going to progress up the Premier League, not come down. And now you see it in the signings: Pearson, Long, Wilshere, older players, people with character, people who are going to work hard. The message is coming from the manager that we haven't got a winning mentality in the squad. That says it all. It's a sinking ship where people are questioning each other and people have a lack of belief in their peers.
Yeah, completely.
Spot on, Jamie.
There's a lot of Sheffield Wednesday fans still in the chat, and we're trying to get them on, but it seems like maybe you haven't got a data package on your phone or something, but no one wants to come on video, which is really a bit weird. Reese, notice you've got an Xbox controller there or something. I bet you wish you were controlling the players with that tonight.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Vaguely, go on. We can turn you up if needed.
I personally think our club's a joke of a club. Like I've got nothing to say. Like we are fucking awful. Do you know something funny? You know the penalty. The time Stanislas scored that penalty. That's the same exact time Stanislas equalised against Leicester last season. I thought that wasn't a coincidence that we could go on to win the game, but I guess not. Like because our squad is worth over 120 million, and we're losing to shit tin pot sides. We're losing to shit tin pot sides who are bottom of the table. I even knew we were going to lose. Now, I don't understand why we don't have that winning mentality. I don't know what's going on with the board. I don't know what's going on with the club at the minute. But they need to sort that shit out. I personally believe, Birmingham at home on Saturday is to decide if we're going to have a chance to automatics. Statistically, there's like 60-something points to get in automatics. But in my opinion, Birmingham is the decider. If we don't win at Birmingham, we have no chance of getting automatic promotion as a whole.
Yeah, well said. Jamie, sorry, mate. Closing comment, mate, because we're going to bring in Filippo, Dom, Rocco and Carl standing by, as is Rich as well. Jamie, before you go, what do we need to do ahead of Birmingham?
Just get the players in, the players we've signed, and Birmingham have only won 2 games. Wait, but Birmingham have won 2 in 18 games. So so we hopefully can win that. They're not much on form, and our next 5 games are bottom half team. So.
Yeah. Oh, we did just have a Sheffield Wednesday fan in chat, by the way, ready to come on, but his devices are not connected. Called WAWAW. So, if you want to come back, you're more than welcome. And if you can chat to us, we'd be more than happy to have you on. Jamie, thank you very much for waiting today. Really appreciate it, mate. And Keith, before we let you go to rotate, because we're trying to.
Of course. And I feel sorry for the kids out there. They've come on tonight. It's them. They're the future of the club, and maybe our players ought to remember, who they're serving. But what did you want to say, mate?
Hey, me.
Final thoughts. I'm not hopeful about Saturday. Actually, I'm not hopeful. I think it's pretty dire. And yes, Jason has to take the blame, but as Tom's pointed out, Jeff pointed out, they've done Eddie in.
Yeah.
And that is, if they're going to be like Jack Rodwell, who's going to sit there and just play out his contract, or Darren Gibson, these 2 lads at Sunderland that done their teaming, who knows what these guys can do? How low will they go?
Let's have a Wednesday. Frightening. Let's have a Wednesday view. We've got a microphone only. I don't know his name, but WA, that's the Wednesday thing. Hello, mate. Can you hear us?
Right, lads.
Hello, fella.
Tell us how it was, because we know that we were crap, but what did you think about us?
Personally, I think you're sugarcoating this loss to us, and we're a massive club. We're bigger than Bournemouth.
You're fucking tin pot. Sit your fucking ass now.
Shut up, Reece. You fucking
Shut
dickhead.
the fuck up.
Oi, boys.
Hello.
I think we'll.
Right. Yeah, we'll
come
cut
on.
that. Well, that descended pretty quickly. Never mind, Never mind. Right, what we're going to do then is bring in Rocco, who's been standing by patiently. Hello, Rocco. Hope you're all right, mate. And also Carl as well. Rocco, I'll come to you first because you've been waiting really patiently. That could have blown up then. It really could have. Rocco, 2-1 against a massive club, Sheffield Wednesday. But they're 23rd in the league, probably going to go down, as we all know. But they taught us a lesson in determination, in tenacity, and a bit of guile tonight, and we had none of that.
Yeah, no, I think
we don't have a system that we can go to, which is the worst thing. Like every week we go and we see similar players, but we don't know what we're going to get every week. And like you see Liverpool play and teams like that, and you can see, you know how they score and you know what they're going to do. We don't have a direct way of scoring, which we need. And also, I just wanted to show, if you think we're having a bad week, I've got this.
Oh, mate! No, mate! Oh, my God!
Shocker. Well, that's the club for a refund.
So, I mean, but he was a player that many of us have wanted to see this season. And, you know, we're seemingly getting rid of the players that have got that sort of desire. I mean, you know, Jackson, yes, he certainly wasn't the best, but, you know, when he did play, it's no coincidence that we didn't concede in 5. Dan Gosling, he's gone. You know, like Offer Ball's gone. And then,
Simpson.
It's got, it's quite scary.
Mean, hopefully Pearson can bring some passion. But no, I think also the other thing I was going to say is the fact that any team can put crosses in against us and we'll concede 50% of the time. And the fullbacks need to be informed to keep tight to them and I think that's Tindall's fault for not instructing them and not giving them the one-to-one attention. So I'm Tindall out at the moment.
Yeah, Carl's here as well. Carl, how are you, mate? You right?
Be better after that.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know why I'm bothering asking how are you, but absolutely shocking. Talk to me about it. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it was. It has been for absolutely ages. We know it. I mean, I did not go into that game not expecting to win it comfortably. I was expecting a 1-0 win, if that. But I think a lot of the problems that nobody seems to be talking about, that I think maybe we've all forgotten, is the fact that 4 or 5 weeks ago, a couple of players in our squad were actually fighting each other on the pitch.
I pointed out last podcast.
I mean, if that's going on the pitch, what's going on in the dressing room after the game? And I just think Tindall has literally got no handle on this squad. I did say from day one, so I'm going to be a little bit biased because I always thought that it was the very lack of ambition signing, and as pointed out by a lot of people on this podcast tonight, that there wasn't even interviews done for the job. And to set up with a defensive kind of strategy every game, because although it's, as pointed out again, 3 up front, it's 3 at the back, and then you've also got a holding midfielder in there every week as well. Lerma's not an attacking midfielder. Billing's not an attacking midfielder. And at the moment, I don't really see Lewis Cook as a real out-and-out attacking midfielder. And it's been the same now for so long that as Keith alluded to earlier, I can't even see us going out on Saturday and winning.
No, I don't think JT knows his best formation. I'm not sure he knows what players he wants where, because we did see Lerma playing fairly advanced at the start of the season. Against Coventry in the 3-1, he was pretty advanced, and there were other games, and then there's other games where he's been playing deep, and we don't seem to know. I think we've almost been through every single formation this season, apart from 4-4-2.
Completely agree, and also I just think that every time that team lines up, it's just, I mean, the whole defensive aspect of it. I get that JT used to be a defender when he was playing, and he's obviously got defensive mind. Yeah. But you can tell it's defensive from the way that it's sideways, backwards. It's like watching a shit Tottenham Hotspur. every week, that is. If you watch Premier League and you see Tottenham on TV, they do exactly the same thing. The only difference is they've got a half-decent number 9 that can support Son or whoever. And Solanke is not a half-decent number 9. He's shocking. The reason why we were doing so well at the start, I believe, is because Solanke was actually running through onto balls, and now he's more looking to be a hold-up number 9 again. And I just, if you look at the last, I'd say probably 3 or 4 games, and then look at us in the first 3 or 4, the whole kind of setup from that team is completely different. And there's no change in personnel at all.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, it's really hard to watch. And Steve, you've been quiet so far. Talk to me.
Talk to us, Stevie.
Actually, firstly, I'd like to apologise to Jamie for going against him last week when he said that Mepham was shit, because he's right. He's fucking shit. I don't know, mate.
I've seen him enough for Wales, mate. Like, I support England in football, but I watch Wales as well, obviously, because I'm from there. But he's diabolical. Even the goal England scored against Wales, he was at fault for. Terrible.
I just think we've become a very predictable club from top to bottom. I mean, everything that happened in the summer was predictable. Predictable, we give the job to JT. Predictable, we wouldn't really sign anybody. He's now playing in a predictable style every week. It's just too easy for other teams to play against us, and I think they've lost the passion to play for him, because I think they see that, the players, that is. I seriously think he's lost the dressing room a bit. I wanted to see him. I wanted to see him do well, like I think most people did. But I think we got a set. I said last week, I think he's got 2-3 games, maybe tops. I'd be lucky if he's. I wouldn't be surprised if he's there at the end of the week. If he's not there by the end of the week. And Woodgate must be thinking, what the hell have I walked into here? It's just a joke.
Manager's position, perhaps.
Possibly.
Maybe. We've got a few Wednesday fans waiting to come on, but once again, no cameras. So kick from studio. Yeah,
we could have a chat about Chansiri and how he's going to bankrupt their club. Let's have a chat about that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's not great.
Let's have a chat about Tony Pulis, how great he was for them.
Yeah.
Just remember, kids out there, he's lurking, and he lives in Sandbanks, doesn't he?
Well, something we got in common with him, isn't it? About not liking him.
Keith, I don't want to top myself tonight, please.
Mate, I'd rather Harry Redknapp than Pulis. Jesus.
Yeah. No, Rocco, before you go, mate, who would you like to be playing on Saturday? I mean, a lot of people are mentioning sort of Sam Surridge and players that sort of show a bit of bottle and a bit of heart. What are your thoughts?
I think my main thing I've always wanted is Brooks at cam, or Brooks at a more forward central position where he can put balls in, and maybe with Kelme at wing. Pearson, obviously, and fullbacks is a shambles. So that's all I've got to say. Thanks, Sam, and I like
that. Mate. Really, cheers, mate. Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks very much. That's Rocco and Carl. Also, thanks so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Nice one, Carl. Nice comments, man.
Yeah. Mate. Cheers, buddy. Really appreciate it. Right, we got Dan Brody. I think he's a Sheffield Wednesday fan. I think we're going to bring him on. He's got a camera. Right, Dan? Hopefully you can hear us. You might need to just unmute your mic.
Dan.
Hopefully, that's it. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. How are you?
I think the game were a little bit poor. We could have done much better. But, just an unlucky little goal at the end. I mean, it was actually quite a good goal, to be fair. They did deserve it, but just not good enough, really.
Yeah. You're a Bournemouth fan, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, right, okay. I wasn't
lad.
sure. Because there was someone that came on that had a similar name, and they had SWFC, and then they went, and then they came back, and I thought, it was, as I said to someone else, there's a blueprint that a lot of teams seem to be following when they play Bournemouth, and Sheffield Wednesday, they didn't play us off the park, but they didn't have to, did they?
No. They could have. They're not a bad team, They've been a bit unlucky this season, but I do definitely think we could have beat them. We're not playing good enough, really.
Yeah,
just not good enough.
No, not good enough at all. What we'll do is we'll bring in who else was standing by as well. Dom standing by as well. You right, Dom?
Oh yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
I was hoping it was Mr. Solanke coming on board, but
yeah.
We could have had a chat about this.
Yeah, afraid it's not that Dom tonight. Dom, what are your thoughts after that?
I mean, I'll reflect on what everyone else saying. It was piss poor, to be honest. Shocking. I don't know what's going on at this club at the moment. We came down in the start of the season. We were playing good football where there was fluidity in there. Danjuma, he was magic on the pitch. And then he got injured. And it seemed like we lost that momentum. We were picking up wins, but then the losses started coming. And this run we've been on, it's just awful. For a team that's come down, everyone's saying, they'll go straight back up next season. We're not a Premier League side anymore. we've got Premier League quality players, but they're not playing for the badge. They're paying for their weekly wages, and that's all they're doing. It's shocking.
And you know what? Even if we did somehow fluke it, I'd be so nervous about next season. There is, I mean, I know Sheffield Wednesday have had a pretty dire start to the season, and there are some records with Derby County and stuff. But I would be fearing that we'd be the laughing stock of football for a long time, based on our sort of attitudes at the moment. Because this team has got the quality to almost fluke promotion. Even like we're playing sort of right now. I mean, we're sat 6th. I mean, probably going to be out of the playoffs if we carry on this trajectory, but we are 6th, and we know that once in a while players will turn up and they'll do something good. But if we have that same set of players and carry the mentality over to the Premier League, should we somehow manage to get there, we would be on Match of the Day every week, getting battered.
Yeah, it's I remember going to the Liverpool game, when Salah came down, scored that immense hat trick. We'd go up, and I reckon that'd just be week in, week out. That's what we'd see. We just see these quality teams just taking us apart. Our defence isn't good enough. I mean, what could he do? Well, I don't reckon he'll be there by the next maybe 2 weeks we got left with Tindall. What can he do? Maybe go 5 at the back, but that's just ultra defensive. And knowing Bournemouth, he'll just be pass around the back, pass, interception. They'll be straight through on goal.
What he does.
True. It's
doesn't matter what he does. He's got to motivate those players.
That's easier said than done, though, Steve, isn't it? Though that's the problem.
I know. But he's had. This isn't a new problem, Keith. This has been last couple of months.
Oh, I think it's been 18 months of this. It's not just the last couple of months.
I mean.
It is. What we can do, we're gonna swap it around a little bit. There's a lot of Sheffield Wednesday fans who are trying to come into the studio, which is fine, but turn your camera on. Turn your camera on.
Their
and then
podcast must be shitter than their team.
They're coming on this one. There are certain people like Vin and Dom and a few others that always come in, just audio, which is absolutely fine. But those people we know, but the ones we don't, turn your camera on and you'll be welcome in. Like, honestly, you will be. Including Ben Ellis, Sheffield Wednesday fan, and next season's League One supporter of Sheffield Wednesday. Dan Brody, thanks very much for coming in, mate.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. I'm so sorry it was brief, and also Jamie Williams, mate. Sorry it's brief. It feels a bit mad and unstructured this evening, but that's what our team are doing as well. So why don't I do it? Eh? Jamie, cheers for coming on.
All right, cheers, Sam.
Cheers,
Jamie. Brilliant.
And also Keith as well. We're gonna switch it around. Keith, thanks very much for coming on, mate.
No worries, fellow. I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully
see you, Keith.
By then.
See you later, Stevie. Look after yourself, mate.
Nice
and you, mate.
That's Keith there as well. Right. And yeah, Dom, cheers for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry it's so brief, mate, but we're gonna kind of wrap up soon. Otherwise, I think I could be here all night. But yeah, cheers for coming on.
Thanks, you love it.
Yeah, I love it. Finally, right, last 2 guests are going to be Rich Neal and this guy. I feel really sorry for because I've been sat seeing his little thumbnail at the bottom of the screen. He's had this post-it note stuck to his head for the whole last half an hour. Filippo, the legend. Oh, mate, at least you got a smile on your face for being here. You saw that tonight, and you've got the same note on your head.
Yes, that's the same as last time. I mean, this is getting embarrassing, really embarrassing, and we are really being attacked by this sort of attack by Sheffield Wednesday fans. We are. It seems that they are more than Bournemouth fans. It's incredible, but it's incredible. It's incredible how we lost both the league games against a team which before this game sat 23rd in the table, and we also gave them the first goal. I mean, Chris Mepham, what was he doing?
Mate, yeah, I've got no idea.
It's difficult to sort out the words with these performances. I mean, I really don't know how to. Yeah, I am out of word. I'm out of words, and you know, I said the last time that we had to keep Jason Tindall until the end of the season because maybe 6 or 7 months weren't enough to judge. But what can if the club really wants to change? It doesn't seem that the club want to change the manager. At least for me, they really don't want. I'm sure that they won't.
And you know, there'll probably be reasons why that they don't want to get rid of Jason Tindall. I'm sure, both financial and maybe a few interpersonal relationships there as well, perhaps. But yeah, mate, it's very tough watch this evening. I've certainly got to say. But Rich is also here with us as well. I noticed, Rocco. Was it Rocco who had the offer ball shirt earlier? I can't remember. I think it was him. Have you got one on the back of yours, Rich?
No, but this is my new shirt, Steve. This one's done as well.
It's your lucky shirt, isn't it, Rich?
It was my new lucky shirt to turn us around. And this
Please don't
one's
tell
done
me
as
you've
well.
got like Simpson on the back or something.
And now I've got Sam Davis.
Oh, top man. You know, I'll be here forever, so it'll be absolutely fine.
Oh, God.
I haven't really.
Brown nose.
My first comment, okay, so Metham last time we all said, yeah, okay, he's come back in. He's, fresh from injury. Give him a chance. His sort of mistake led to a goal tonight. His mistake led to a goal. So on Saturday, Tindall, can you just play CCV? What has he done wrong?
Yeah.
I saw him 2 games, looked like a cook the second, nice and solid. Yeah, put him on the bench, don't even get him any minutes. Brilliant. Take him off on half time in the last game and that's it. Brilliant, nice one. Also, one thing to say, I don't know if you've read this, but this was the headline from what Jason Tindall said. Okay, so he says he'll do all he can to lift the players' confidence after the 4th successive league defeat. Tindall says that this experience will make his young squad stronger.
I mean, yeah.
Where does he get this from?
We're
Maybe he was getting that on the internet earlier on. Perhaps he was trying to get some ideas.
Yeah, I don't know.
If we were good as a pitch as we are as PR, we'd be all right.
I know. I don't know where he suddenly decided that the squad. I know they're not particularly old, but he's got rid of all the old players, so it's his own fault. You know what I mean? We could still have,
Oh, you know what? I don't even know where to go with this.
Load more old players in.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't know where to go with the show tonight because it seems like there's such a lack of ideas on the pitch, and it seems so unstructured. And there are so many different reasons why we could be so poor. And ultimately there is always one full guy, and you can see what people are saying on chat, and you can sort of see why they're saying it. I think it was Emma Price who was putting the number 55, 66, 77 for United Taxis on earlier, and a lot of people were saying the same thing. I don't know. We're going to close it off, but I'll give you a final statement, Rich, if you want to.
Change it now, Jason. As other people said, bring in firstly the new players, see what they've got about. Maybe they've got some grit and determination. Maybe they can change something. Bring in the younger players that actually want to be here and fight for the club. Now's the chance, because if you keep doing the same what we're doing, then there's only one way that's what's going to happen here, and it's something that we don't all want, but what else can we do?
Yeah, agreed. Steve, have you got anything to add?
No, much the same. I said it last week, didn't I? I said he needs to roll the dice and pretty quickly, because his job's on the line big time for me. Like we said before, I can't understand why we haven't utilised these young players. We've needed them at times. We've used Simpson, then we got rid of him. It's just catalogue of errors, catalogue of silly mistakes that have been made by the backroom staff, and he needs to gamble big time now. Otherwise he's out the door, right? And that starts with Birmingham.
Yeah, it does. And Filippo Morgan wants to send you a shirt. So yeah, we might have to arrange that.
Yeah,
and
thank you very much.
Filippo, come on, you got to say the magic words. Even though we're rubbish at the moment, you got to sign off by saying.
Yeah, Sam, I have a final statement, final words, because yeah, I agree with Rich about Cameron Carter wickets instead of Chris Mappa, maybe. Also, again, I want to see Sam Surridge in the attack, but most importantly, I'd like to see team spirit and concentration head in the pitch during all game. No more mistakes, please. Really, and maybe team must not watch the table anymore. Just concentrate on the game, step game by game, and just win.
Yeah, hopefully we've got enough points.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. If they did take their eyes off that and the whole, promotion and try and get automatic and just go out there and play football and just try and do the basics like they haven't been doing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
I'm sure they feel the pressure. I'm sure they feel the pressure.
I do agree.
Pressure down.
Sorry, Sam. I do agree, because last year they had the pressure of staying up. This year they've got the pressure of going up. So they've always had, and I don't think they deal well with pressure, do they?
No, that's it.
Maybe they are falling apart because they have the fear that they can't do it, and they watch the table, and 1 week is third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Just don't look at the table and concentrate on the games.
Yeah.
Well said, Filippo.
Well said, Filippo. Filippo, thanks so much for coming on, mate.
Yeah, Sam. Up the cherries, always.
Up the cherries, as always.
There
Thank
it
you
is.
so much. I really appreciate it. There are people still coming in to chat, but yeah, we're closing it off now. And thanks for all the Sheffield Wednesday fans that have been on the live chat. Hopefully, you enjoy Burton Albion next season. Top place to play football, by the way. Rich, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
Take care. Sorry, that was Care. He wants to say, and also Steve. Cheers, mate.
Lovely haircut, mate. I really like that.
Cheers. Had to be
See
done.
you later.
Had to be done. Appreciate it. It's been a weird show. Started off with audio issues. Camera fell down. Got knocked out due to bad internet, and also a bit of a swear fest between Reese and a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Either which way, appreciate you coming on. It's been a bit of a unstructured show and a bit of a mess, but then so's the club we support at the moment. Are changes needed? Who knows? The next few days will be interesting. Need a win to cheer everyone up against Birmingham City. Otherwise, we may be calling United taxis. Yeah.